it's important for us to spend a moment talking about, not just personalize this to the leaders. The bottom line is that the basic strategic dynamic between the United States and China remains fraught. Graham Allison just came out with a book called Thucydides' Trap, where he refers to the Greek historian Thucydides' observation that it was the rise of Athens and the anxiety it caused Sparta that led to the Peloponnesian War. What Allison did was he looked at 16 cases where an established power had to deal with a rising power in history. 12 of those cases resulted in war. So without careful management, there are a lot of structural forces pulling the United States and China towards confrontation. Now, it was with this in mind that China developed a tagline for the relationship a few years back. They called it a new model of great power relations. The idea that this would allow the US and China to avoid Thucydides' trap. President Obama bought into the tagline, and he and President Xi went out and announced this, quote, new model at a summit in Sunnylands, California in 2013. The problem was these same words, new model of great power relations, meant very different things to Obama and to Xi. For Obama, a new model meant that China rises into a US-led order and plays by our rules. For Xi, a new model meant you stay on your side of the Pacific and we'll stay on ours. So the term sort of fell out of use fairly quickly, at least on the American side. In any event, the basic strategic dynamic that produced the idea of the new model remains, the inherent instability generated by a competition between a rising power and an established power. Now, Owen Harries was right when he warned against containment of China. That is a self-defeating policy, but so is acquiescence. We need to strike a middle course, one that encourages China's rise in a manner consistent with an open, fair, rules-based regional order. This will require care and prudence and strategic foresight, and maybe even more basically, it will require sustained attention. It may not have escaped your notice that these are not in ample supply in Washington right now. And now, amidst this discussion of the US-China relationship, let's not forget that where China is headed at home remains a very real question mark. Analyst predictions for the Chinese economy range from doom and gloom to an inexorable upward rise. Most fall somewhere in the muddy middle where a range of risk factors lurk. How things play out inside China will have a significant impact on the long-term future of the US-China relationship. And then, of course, especially being here in Australia, we cannot forget and have to underscore the importance of the role of the rest of the region in responding to China's rise. Will the region essentially accommodate, or will they seek to draw the United States in to provide a durable counterweight? Different countries over time will supply different answers. How ASEAN looks at this will be different from how India or Japan or Korea or Australia look at it. And even within ASEAN, there are going to be different perspectives. I do expect, though, that over time, our friends and partners in the region will worry about the possibility of a 19th century style sphere of influence in Asia in which China slowly nudges the United States out and consolidates its power and influence in a way that will ultimately force regional countries to supplicate. However this plays out, it is a good reminder that America's China policy needs to be about more than just bilateral ties. It needs to be about our ties to the region that create an environment more conducive to a peaceful and positive sum Chinese rise. This leads us to a third question, which is, will America's alliances in the Asia-Pacific stay solid with Trump in charge? Are